Hey, this is Chad for Different Skill, bringing you episode 3 of Cards for Thought. Now, I'm sure you guys probably know what Cards for Thought is right now, so I will skip the intro this time and get right onto it. Now, this will be another new Batama card that I'm pretty hyped for. Of course, I don't have mine yet because they're not here yet, so I'll be having to do it like this. So this is Shira Stealth Dragon Break Ride Dude, or Kuji Kiri Kongo, if you want me to try to murder the name. So, Kujikiri Kongo? Yeah, something like that. It sounds weird, but of course he has the Stealth Dragon name, which is iconic of all new Atamas that are any good. So, anyways, this guy has a Break Ride, and of course, yes, Break Rides do good things. Now, this one, I think, is one of... It synergizes really well with the deck in a really silly way that you might think is like no crap, right? So this card is when a new Batama rides this unit, choose your Vanguard. I don't even know why it says choose your Vanguard. It's probably a translation error. Because like, are you gonna choose their Vanguard? Because that sounds silly, right? That unit gains plus 10,000 power, and your opponent chooses a card from his or her hand and discards it. Officially, this is a good ability. It does not cost Counterblast, and it makes them discard a card. Very good, similar to the one in Aqua Force, but that's when a unit attacks. Um, it's kind of the same thing in a sense, except you can have a restanding Vanguard and make them do it twice. And if it's not an optional effect, because like if they don't discard for the Aqua Force one, they gets a crit and you can't block. So it basically says discard a card. Along with that, and chooses a card from his or her hand and binds it face down until the end of that turn. Your opponent puts that card that was bound by this effect back to his or her hand. So when you break ride, you plus 10k and take 2 cards out of their hand. This is one of the very iconic ways to win with Nubatama back when people would splash for it, where you would double block with two Hakakure's and then just force them to discard 2 cards or something, or even like overguarding and discard using 3 Hakakure's. Because if you use so many cards to block, you're definitely gonna have less cards, and your opponent has to discard down to like maybe 2 or 3 cards, and then you can ride this card, taking out 2 more cards from their hand, or like you can break right on top of this, taking 2 or more cards, two other cards from their hand, and then they officially just can't block you. So I don't know. I think this card's really good. I'll have to test it out when I get the deck. But I definitely think that it is just very, 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 very solid. Especially because your new Batama cards are probably going to be using their counterblast for their older effects, like the ones where if you boost with this unit or you hit with this unit and you have less cards in your hand. I'm talking about Stealth Dragon, Voidmaster, and Dreadmaster, and then they have to discard a card if you hit. When this unit boosts the Nubatama, or when this unit hits the Vanguard, or I'm pretty sure it hits the Vanguard. So this is a very scary ability, and I'm kind of glad that Bushiroad kept this in mind. That they essentially said, it feels like they essentially say that we want you to use the old cards because none of the new cards cost counterblast, and the ones that do are really bad. So there's no point in using those. It feels very nice that it has such synergy where you would have one side that's very heavy on the counterblast, which is the Hakagure, Hakagure is amazing card. I'm gonna do a section on him as well, so yeah, I'll do that later. But anyways, we're talking about this card right now, and I think that this can see a huge potential just because of how scary Nubatama even used to be when it was like set 1 only and they did Kagero Nubatama, and then because attacks didn't hit very high back then, so your 9k Voidmaster would not feel like too bad. Like generally it would be okay because you could have the abilities to discard the cards from their hand, so they couldn't actually keep a lot of things on the field without just dying to like an ability like triple Hakagure on your final attack of your turn. You discard 3 cards. My turn, I attack you for game, because that was the thing. You could just like drop 2 or 3 Hakagures and hold them back. And because if you didn't want to use them early, you can just hold them back on an extra 10k shields. And say your Vanguard attacks for like 30k, their Vanguard attacks you for 30k, just ditch your 3 Hakagure. Now they have to discard like 3 cards from their hand. And if they're not playing stop telling me my performance is slow. And if they're not playing a deck that is like like Scarlet Witch, Coco, like Soulless OTT, that they have like a lot of cards in their hand all the time. This could be very dangerous for them. You just like triple block with 3 Hakagure, they discard 3, you break ride, discard 1, bind 1, and then boom, they're dead. Simple as that. So I think this card is amazing. Well, I think I just told it was very solid, but I honestly think that if if this works out, it will be one of the scariest sets, like scariest clans. Although, from what Card Otaku tells me, it's hype in Hong Kong, but there's not a lot of progress going with it. So hopefully, I can make a deck that's good and it'll work. And yeah, see you guys next time for episode 7, because the next 3 will be done by Amulet. So I'll see you guys next time.